Earlier this year, I went on a sailing trip with my school. On this trip, we were not allowed to have our phones or bring very much of our own belongings. This trip made me realize that our society is obsessed with material things and uses them to define ourselves. The sailing trip made me think of my knowledge question. How do people in the 21st century use reason to justify materialism? Society creates an environment where people feel the need to obsess over material objects, and people use this as a way to justify their obsession. Materialism can be defined as a way of thinking that gives importance to material possessions rather than spiritual or intellectual things.
Every day, Americans are bombarded with hundreds of messages suggesting that the good life is attainable through the goods life by making lots of money and spending it on products that claim to make us happy, loved, and esteemed. On the news shows, we hear a near constant refrain from economists and politicians about the importance of consumer spending and economic growth. And around $150 billion are spent most years to embed consumer messages in every conceivable space, from TV shows and websites to public bathrooms and escalator handrails. Lately, marketers have even been paying actors to drop sales pitches into conversations in bars and city parks. But commercialization and consumerism also reach deeper, worming their way into people's psyches and encouraging them to organize their lives around higher salaries and owning more stuff. Unfortunately, this can come at a high price for the well-being of both people and the planet. Research consistently shows that the more that people value materialistic aspirations and goals, the lower their happiness and life satisfaction, and the fewer pleasant emotions they experience day to day. Depression, anxiety, and substance abuse also tend to be higher among people who value the aims encouraged by consumer society.
The obsessive accumulation of unnecessary products, along with the hope that buying a Chanel bag will somehow make you happier, that is problematic. Researchers define it as a value system that is preoccupied with possessions and the social image they project. It is both socially destructive and self-destructive. It smashes the happy. The Real Housewives franchise often comes to mind when people hear the term materialism. They are known for their lavish lifestyles and excess of material. People often criticize these women for their need for material things, but this need was created by the society in which we live in. This is a video from one of the Real Housewives of New York giving a house tour.
Hello everyone, come on in, I'm Sonia Morgan. This is the first floor of the house. This would be the parlor or the great room. When you first walk in the door on the first floor, you see the garden immediately. The garden's important to me because I'm a gardener. I did all the gardens in all my houses. Usually in the summer I have water plants and then I have these beautiful goldfish. I did lose a few goldfish, so I only have one big guy left, but the rest are coming along. I have to tell you, having an elevator is a real luxury. It's also a savior. Milu, there you are. Huh? You can come out. You know, when I was married, we decided to get some portraits, and then I thought it was normal. Now that I'm single, it's kind of weird having a portrait of yourself. This has to be the most important room in the house, and I think a lot of families feel that way. The kitchen is where I meet my daughter after school. We do homework together, and I make her snack. And I do have a beautiful chef's kitchen, but they make the most amazing gourmet meals out of this little toaster oven. I kid you not. Let's go upstairs, Mila. This is my floor, the master suite, and this is my bathroom. One of the things about my bathrooms in all my houses, I have to have a bidet. Not for the obvious reason, but that's where I do all my lingerie and my socks. And when I work on my daughter's clothes, when they have stains, I do it right there in the bidet. So this is my bedroom. I have this fluffy feather bed. I sleep on feathers, and I have feathers on top of me. That is a must, and I have my down pillows. I think being comfortable is very important. And I designed this bed based on one that I saw in the White House, and I think it came out really well. I love this detail, the way it all comes together. I don't know, it just feels right to me. These are my everyday closets. These are the clothes I need to get to every day. And then I have a gym closet. Connecticut closet, Colorado closet, San Tropez, and Miami are the same. And then Palm Beach is different because you wouldn't wear in Palm Beach what you wear in San Tropez. This is the gym. I rarely use this, but I have friends who stay with me here who do use it. This is a great piece to use for sit-ups. I wanted it to have a nautical feel. I wanted you to think you were inside a yacht. So I have these nautical lights, like you might see on a yacht. I have another marble floor that I designed with knots because those would be the kind of knots that you would tie your boat up with. Thank you for joining me for the mini tour of my home. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, and I'll see you again soon.
This same woman later filed for bankruptcy and struggled to keep her position on the show because she could not afford the lifestyle it required. The women who appear on The Real Housewives use reason to justify their constant need for material objects. The idea that they must keep up their lavish lifestyle or appearance to continue on the show fuels their obsession and further shows that society is responsible for the large presence of materialism in the 21st century. Instead of the idea that society creates an environment where people feel the need to be materialistic, some people believe that it is the individual's choice to have an obsession with material things, and this individual reasons that these things are a necessity for the lifestyle that they live. This is not the case, because these people would not feel the need to use reason to justify their obsession if it was not for the society in which they live, which creates an environment in which constantly purchasing things is a necessity for success. Materialism is present in societies all over the world. Shows like The Real Housewives appear in multiple countries, and all of the women lead similarly lavish lifestyles. Much like in the US, this environment obsessed with material things is placed onto them by the society in which they live. In conclusion, my sailing trip proved to me that our society has an obsession with objects. But this project opened my eyes to just how much of an obsession people in the 21st century have with material things. The environment created by our consumerist society is used as a reason to justify the obsession that many people have with material objects. Reason can be seen through people vindicating their purchases with the idea that in order to be successful in today's society, a materialistic identity is a necessity.